Good morning, St. Tim's. My name is Ryan, and this is my fiance, Nick. Although we've only been a part of this faith community since last spring, we do want to extend our sincerest appreciation and thanks for how warm and welcoming everyone has been since day one. In fact, we remember the first day we walked through the doors of this lovely church. We had been searching for a new church and wanted to slip in and out quietly. But we were immediately greeted warmly and sincerely. And when the time came to leave, we still joke that the associate pastor must have donned her track shoes and sprinted after us to make sure we knew how welcomed we were before we could reach the doors. All it took was that first Holy Eucharist for us to know we had found a place where we could come exactly as we are and worship authentically. A few months later, we were humbled when Lynn asked us if we would be interested in being lectors. Neither of us had ever been asked to take an active role in our previous churches. To know that we could be our true selves and become active members of a church has been so uplifting. St. Tim's is very special, and we feel fortunate every Sunday when we worship our God together with you all.
Ryan and I grew up in different denominations of Christianity. In our individual relationships with our faiths took us down very different paths as young adults, but it ultimately led us both to the same place. I grew up going to multiple different non-denominational churches and was taught conflicting ideas on what it meant to be a good Christian. As differing thoughts compounded with my journey to understand how my identity could be acceptable with my faith, I struggled as a young adult to find a connection with the faith community. I wasn't sure where to look, which now seems comical, because even back then I knew the Episcopal Church was progressive and accepting. You would have thought I would have said, gee, I wonder if that would be a good place to start. Nevertheless, I left for college and found communities that challenged many of my beliefs in the church, but I also continue to struggle to find an alignment to a specific faith community, as I found that the younger college Christian community also was full of a lot of young people that were also navigating their own challenges in their faith. It wasn't until I met Ryan, who took me to his liturgical church, that I felt a deeper connection to my faith, to a faith community, and overall to God. My background gave me uncertainty whether I could serve an active part in a church while being able to be my authentic self. It really hit me when we were approached to be lectors, and then again when we were able to join the discerning process. The community here has deepened my relationship with Christ as I continue to grow, and it has continuously accepted myself and Ryan in allowing us to be an active part of the broader community.
For so much of my life, my beliefs weren't based on my relationship with God, but rather my relationships with the strict liturgical church I grew up in. For years, I struggled. I couldn't reconcile a God that created me for such capacity for love, but then would put limitations on that love. It wasn't until I had a deconstruction of faith that I was actually able to separate my beliefs. For the first time, I truly believed I was loved by God, completely, fully, without restrictions, without conditions, just as I am and just as God created me to be. I was finally living my authentic truth. No doubt, both of our faiths have been challenged and at times weakened by the experiences we have had in various churches along the way. It's sad to consider how many of our siblings in Christ have walked away from their faiths because of similar experiences in their churches. We are beyond grateful to have found one another and that we share in our desire to deepen and grow our faith together. A few weeks back, we heard in the gospel Christ's teaching of the greatest commandment, to love God, and the second commandment, to love your neighbor. In a world that at times seems so broken, it's important to celebrate love wherever it can be found. We firmly believe the love we share is rooted in the unwavering and unconditional love God has for all of us. Finding a faith community that loves and supports us has been humbling, grace-filled, and encouraging. St. Tim's has provided us the space to worship our God authentically and without reservation for who we are and the love we share.
We wanted to thank Mother Kim for inviting us to share in our experience here at St. Tim's. We never expected to find a church we could grow, be married, and from which we could feel such overwhelming love and support. We continue to be humbled by this church's care and graciousness to welcome us with open arms into the community. We couldn't be more happy and grateful to be here in this space with you all. extending love and welcome to all who walk through the doors, and taking the love and grace given to us each Sunday in the Eucharist out into the world as beacons of hope.